Okay, perfect. Let me mute everybody here. Okay, what we will study today, we will go over the network security. One of the things which is I have mentioned, I have seen in your assignment. Some of you, when you to type the rep, for example, you type rep, and then after that you type 192.168.10.3. 10.3, that's wrong. 10.3, when you put rep, we put network ID, not network IP addresses. Under the rep has to be network ID, not network addresses. Make sure to understand that. Today, what we will have exactly, we want to go over the network security. Why the network security become really popular? Because we actually moving to the level of we using IT in almost each field in the world currently. We using IT or networking in banking, in buying, in sharing, home. Actually, the home appliances right now, which you can control the whole home. By the way, through an application. You can turn the light, you can turn the fire, you can turn the water, you can turn everything through an application. In short, and sure, I'm not going to talk about the defense, or I'm going to talk about the nuclear appliances or nuclear reactors or something like that. I'm talking even about the simple ones which we actually use every day. What's the problem right now? You actually heard about that people, they hack, for example, the Apple account or the iCloud account, and they take all your credit card and password and everything. Then they charge you. They charge your credit card, and they make millions, or 100 and some $50 million has been taken from the credit card a year and a half ago. A lot of people, they come to your account and they take some shares and some money, some credits. Sometimes you didn't realize that, by the way. For some guys, they take money, which you can actually see. Some of the smart folks, what they do exactly, they hack the system, and that system has 200 million customers, for example, or a bank. That bank has 100 million customers. They take $1 from each customer. As a customer, do you think you're going to realize $1 missing? Even if you realize $1 missing, do you think you're going to call the bank and waste your time for $1? No. So what they do exactly, they go away with $100 million without any hassling or anything at all. So for network security, what we need to do exactly, you need to secure your network in terms of physical network, which I believe that's very basic and very fundamental. I need to have doors. I need to have guards, for example, if I want to. I have to have locks. I have to have rooms with PIN numbers and many. And all my cables and things like that has to be through the walls. Nobody can actually access to. In short, it's hard to anyone, non-authorized people, to go through my network. Okay, that's in terms of physical. What about in terms of information or data? I need to secure my data. The first and the best option to secure your data, encryption. You encrypt your data mostly become secure. All right. What about my system? You have different type of authentication method. Passwords, coding, certificates, and the password itself, it's multi-factor password or one-factor password, and so on. So in short, we can actually secure our data through many ways. However, if you want as a why we care about the security currently these days, because it become highly sophisticated. If you went 25 years ago or 30 years ago, what was the most attacks or viruses? Most of the viruses, it used to be something called DOS or DOS, denial of service. What is denial of service exactly? You have a company, the running business, I attack it, I stopped it. That's it. So when I stopped it, what I lose? You lose a lot of money. Some companies, when, for example, stockbroker, they lose $100,000 a minute for if the system stops. $100,000 a minute. I used to work in company in New York like that. Each minute during the running time, they lose $100,000 if the system off. Currently, because we have what we call redundancy and mirroring, which means that my system is not one system, it's actually multi-system, and it's all mirroring. So if you attack this one, this one works. If you attack this one and this one, that one works, and so on. However, the attacks right now become highly sophisticated and cooperative as well. Not one person attack you. Many people at the same time, they attack you. They have like a group. So how that works exactly? You need to understand the concept of virus, like computer virus. What is computer virus exactly? All right, let's go to the human body virus. When you get a virus in your body, or the coronavirus right now, what does exactly? The human body created us to work in normal way. Our body, or whatever it is, created to work in normal way. What is the virus does exactly? Goes attack some part of that body and make it behave abnormal way. That's the problem. So we want to make the system work abnormal. Exactly the same concept with the computer virus. We have created operating system. That operating system based on files, directory, what we call a directory. The C, under the C, you say it like program file. Under program file, you have this and this, like this way. What the virus does, go inside over here, this directory created based on to do some specific work, he mess up that. That's the very basic concept. Yes, it is. Okay, we have many type of viruses, by the way, many type of viruses. And each virus has different virus signature. What is virus signature? If you have an antivirus home or in your computer, you will find something called update database. What is update the database every day or every other day? The antivirus try to do. All right, you need to understand what is the computer virus. The computer virus is just only a code. Code, yes, executable code. So it's a code. That's how it is, yes. That code, when it's been executed, it makes the computer run in a non-proper way, right? So each virus has different types of different behavior or different codes. So what we do exactly as what we call it virus signature. There is a specific code inside that virus does. For example, that code can run to copy itself. That code can copy your keyboard. Whatever you do, the keystroke, you do it, it copy that. That one can delete some file. That one can do whatever that signature, we call that signature. So, and each virus has some different signature, which means different behavior. Right. Up to here, do you understand this concept? If you didn't get that correctly, raise your hand and let me know. So what exactly this is like the virus and has signature, another virus has another signature, another virus has another signature, like this way. So we have thousands of viruses have thousands of signatures. What the antivirus does, take all those, in a basic concept by the way, take all those signatures and put them over here. When you have a data coming to that, this is, for example, Norton antivirus. What Norton antivirus does, in a very basic fundamental concept, this is data coming to my system, my computer. The Norton antivirus look inside this package and try to search for any of these signatures. If this packet has any of this signature, it stops it. And if this packet doesn't have any of this signature, let it go, let it in. That's the whole idea? Yes, that's the whole concept. So this is the virus. What is exactly a worm? Worm is a type of virus, exactly the same concept. However, that worm moves in the network between computer to another computer within a network. So, for example, I have a network here. This is my network. For example, I have many computers like this. This is PC 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is, and this is the server, for example, like this. One of the guys, he put worm over here. And this is the worm. What that worm will do, will copy itself to the system to another one. Copy itself to another one, like this, within the network. Within a network. That's what we call worm. Why are we concerned about security these days? As you can see here, they give you an estimate. The security breach can go more than $2 trillion a day. I'm sorry, a year, which is a lot of money. Okay, another statistic here, which is has nothing to do with your exams or something like that. 70% of the email sent during 2006 was a spam email, which you may be familiar with the word spam. Okay, so why we network need security? That's fundamental, easy question. Why we need security on any network? To protect our data. That's mostly important. However, not just only to protect our data. If my system has dropped, I will lose money. If my system didn't work, I will lose money. If my system offline, I don't have customers. Imagine if Amazon as a website dropped down for like 3 hours, how much is that going to cost Amazon? You can imagine. And also, sure, you have the consumer, when your system is down, they lose the confidence because you actually not that confident. This is to be considered always the question you get in exams. What is CIA in terms of network security? And this is highly important. The CIA is not like the US CIA, but the C for confidentiality, and I for integrity, and A for availability. You need to understand those ones concept indeed. What is confidentiality? Who actually can access what? Who can access what? So, which means that only authorized people can access my system or my network or my data. Who can access what? That's confidentiality. Integrity the data I'm sending is exactly the same data it's been received, which means that the data hasn't been altered or changed or modified. The integrity of the system. The data hasn't been touched, in short. Availability, which is the system run all the time in most applications and most devices, which means that anywhere, anytime, any device. Anywhere, anytime, any device. This is highly important, and you need to keep that in mind, the CIA. All right. What type of security traits, if we want to classify the security traits? Well, we have the traits which can disruptive. Disruptive means something like DOS, the denial of service, which when someone can attack my system to stop it. The idea of attacking the system to stop the system. Put it down. That's it, that's it. And as we mentioned before, if my system down, I'm going to lose money. I'm going to lose customers as well. Okay. What about the destruction of data, which means someone to attack you to wipe out the data in your system? And this one currently is not that popular, the destruction of the data, which is I want to crash the hardware or the hard disk. Why is that? Because we're actually using right now what we call redundancy and high availability. So which means that, as we mentioned before in RAID, if anybody still remember what we have covered in RAID, redundancy. I have multi-drive. Okay, disaster, which is, I believe that as well, currently not that risky. However, we put in consideration. What does exactly in a natural disaster? Can be fire, which is the high level, can be flood, not that much, and so on. Earthquakes or something like that. However, that one exactly the same as this one become right now a little bit low risk because we have what we call exactly the same thing, redundant. For example, the bank you have over here, for example, in Commonwealth Bank here in Sydney, they have a copy running in multi areas in Australia and actually overseas as well. So if something happened, for example, in my branch here, whatever it is, the branch, don't worry because your account, your money, everything is saved somewhere else. Multi-mirroring is not just one place. Intrusions. Who can intrude? Hackers. And the hackers usually from outside, and we will cover those ones because we have different type of hackers. Hacking, we have different types. However, those one can come from within, not just from outside. Employees inside your company can be considered as intruders as well. Angry employee, short-term contract employees, guest employee, like that. It can be actually a real risk. And one of the major things these days, if you heard about that, industrial spying. What industrial spying exactly? You spend years and years and years develop, for example, a software or a hardware or a phone, an airplane, an engine, whatever it is. And another company, competition or competitor, spy on you, get the design and implement it and save all that. And there's a lot of, not just companies, countries, they done that. And they still do that, the industrial spying. Imagine, I'll give you an example. Imagine if you actually come to the component of Coca-Cola. If you spy in the Coca-Cola company, for example, which I don't encourage you, but if you know how to put the exact component of Coca-Cola, how much money you will save per year, how much money you can make per year, and so on and so on. Put this one on everything, airplanes, whatever, phones, if you know how they manufacture processors or something like that. This is what a small center, like IT center, and we try to classify the threats which can be inside a computer center, just only to understand what is a computer center, which is, I just want to show you, people, they sit like this to monitor like this. This is what we call computer center. So guys like this, they watch the network traffic, computer traffic, internet traffic, whatever it is. We try to classify the threats over here under that to different type of threats. Hardware threats, software, data threats, input and output, over organizational, personal, physical, external, data communication circuits, internal and external. Which one? Let's go for, take one example for each. For example, the hardware threats, either destruction of the hardware or the theft of the hardware. That's how it is, either to theft it or destruct it. The software, this is main thing, how to protect the software from copying, modifying, destruction, theft, errors, access of use, who can access my software, who can use it. And you have, for example, packet tracer. As you can see that, you have to log in to use the packet tracer. The data, the data threats. Who can access the data, which is the authorized people, who can copy the data, modification of the data, theft or stealing the data, which is highly important as well. Input and output threats. What's the input and output threats? The fraud, the theft, the error, the disaster, sure. Okay, what exactly, if we go for organization threats? Lack of security, lack of responsibility, the personal traits, dishonesty. If you hire someone who's dishonest, that's how it is. The physical security, which I believe that everybody can guess what we're talking about here. External people, like the vandalism, the disaster, the fraud, the theft. What about the internal and external? Internal and external threats. The internal threats, okay, let's go for the, what is satellite computer? The satellite computer is like this, a computer, let me show you. A computer, you are sitting here, this is my computer. However, that my computer link to a supercomputer. That's in a very basic fundamental concept. A computer linked to another high advanced supercomputer. Is that can be a risk? Yes. This one can be from internal or external, by the way. The network computer or internet computer, it's exactly, but this is the only difference. This one, network computer, can be closed network or open network. Closed network means like something like defense. You work in intranet only. This one connect to the internet, which is you working on the open links, serial form, PDA, and all that. So when those guys sitting over here, they can actually keep watching and keep analyzing all these aspects. What this aspect is, as you can see over here, meaning, which means that either hardware, software, data, input, output, organizational, physical, personal, they have to analyze all these aspects. How to do network controls, and this is actually came in one of the exams before. What is the network controls? Type of controls, how to control your network to become secure, from being unsecure. Well, we need to do some kind of controls. These controls can be classified under detective controls. Put any controls which is limitation, which can detect problems, detect errors, detect entry. Another ones which is prevent. Okay, what is the difference between preventing and detecting? Detecting can detect invaders, detect hackers, detect lack of security, but someone else detected maybe after entry. What do you mean by that? Someone entered my house and I detected that he's entered the house, he's in the house. That's detecting, which means that after. Okay, what about preventing? Prevent means not stop that person from entering the house. So which means that I do measure to stop him outside. We can do something like that, yes. For example, if we have detective control, what I want to detect. Detective control mostly work with auditing. Auditing means try to run on the system troubleshoot. What kind of troubleshoot exactly? Analysis. You try to analyze your system to find out gaps, holes, errors. Is everything work in professional way or not? Can we improve the system to improve the security or not? We call it security auditing. Okay, how to prevent, for example, if I want to preventing control, very easy. For example, if I want to, let me give you a very easy example. I have a link between one system. I have a system here, another system here. I have a link here between those two systems. And I want to prevent that link from going down. So they have security here, and I want to make sure that that communication or that entry or that whatever will not be dropped. Very basic. Put another link. Here it is, yes. A backup link, which is redundant link. So if this one went down, this one still up. If this one went down, this one up. And actually, sometimes you need to do more than 2 links. What about the corrective control? Corrective control, that if you have any issues with your system, how to correct that system. For example, what you do exactly usually when you have your operating system freeze. If you have an operating system in your computer and it freezes, what do you usually do? Reboot the system. Reinitiate the system. Something similar to that we can do with the corrective control. For example, if I don't want someone to use that link, I don't want to stop you from using that link. What to do exactly? As soon as I detect the link and I want to put control link, what to do exactly? I stop you, yes, reinitiate the link. So take him out. That's it. What about the securing the network. The network always you have to run what we call it auditing. You have to run what we call it auditing. Okay, auditing means you go over your network system and you find out what's the issue exactly in terms of troubleshooting, testing, and identifying errors or problems, or gaps, or holes, or whatever it is. Preventing computer viruses. How to do that? Most viruses, by the way, coming from downloading and installing programs or installing documents, and either email or videos. Mostly, most viruses in the market currently come to you through emails or to you downloading packed software with viruses. And this virus sometimes it's hidden within the software, so you cannot see it. Sometimes you download a movie, which is very popular these days. You download a movie, free downloading movie, yes, but as soon as you download this movie, inside the movie, the video, it actually implements few viruses inside, hidden. As soon as you download it, your computer will be packed with viruses. Sometimes this virus is even unnoticeable, which means that you actually, as a user, you don't realize that you have a virus. However, it's spying everything in your computer. Worm, as I told you before, that's some kind of type of viruses, but however, these viruses copy itself from computer to another computer within a network. The antivirus software, which I did explain that to you. What is the denial of service? Just only to understand that denial of service is like this, a very basic concept. When you have a system, a computer, for example, or a server, this is a server. When you say to someone, hello, what do you expect from that server to say? Hello back. That's how it is? Yes. What about if I send you myself 1,000 hello? One after one after one after one, right away. So I'm gonna keep you busy replying back to me, hello, 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 hello. What about the other customers? None. That's how it is. This is the whole concept about denial of service. Denial of service means I send you a loop of packets, which usually pinging or ICMP packets, to make you busy, make your ports, what we call it, make your ports busy. And when you are busy here, you will not be able to reply to any other services. So if you have, for example, 100 customers, and those 100 customers, I don't want you to serve them, very basic. I'm gonna send you a loop of inquiry, or hello message, or ICMP pinging, to keep you busy. When you're actually busy with me replying, hello, 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 like this, so you will not be able to serve those guys. And that's what we call denial of service. Very basic fundamental concept about that. Okay, what about DDoS, distributed denial of service? Distributed denial of service, if I have more than one person, one like he is attacking me, at the same time someone else attacking me, at the same someone else do the same thing, at the same one else do the same thing. Really? Yes. Why we do that? Because when we have done the DOS, those guys realize that they're receiving packets from here only. So what they do exactly, they block me after a while. So to do that, not to realize that, send them packet from here and from here and from here and from here, what we call it, distributed denial of service. This one machine only try to access. This one, many machine, multi-machines, they can actually send you a request. Difficult to prevent DOS and distributed attack. This one is not difficult. For me to prevent denial of service is not difficult. But this is the one, because you have to block many IP addresses. How to do that? We actually create what we call access list, which means I can actually list some specific IP addresses to reach me here. Is that space? Yes, we can do that. However, it's away from your study totally. Okay, how the DOS and DDoS works? If the software, if the meeting terminate, because that I'm gonna run another session, it's gonna run out soon. What exactly the DOS approach to prevent that? How to stop the denial of service or distributed denial of service? We need to filtration. However, the filtration can take more than one shape. I need to filter traffic based on what? Based on the packet itself, or the IP, the source, the destination, the port it came from. Okay, so the first thing, traffic filtering. And we will filter over here based on the IP addresses, the source and destination. Over here, when you have traffic limiting, which means that I cannot receive from you flood of packets. You have to have some kind of legitimate sending behavior. Over here, traffic anomaly. What is that? Normal or abnormal? For example, I'm receiving 5 packets a millisecond. All of a sudden, I receive 100 packets a millisecond. That's not normal behavior, which means that it can be classified as attack. Let's go over, I'm gonna go over that step by little bit by little, but the fifth protection, how to, I have seen that myself actually in one of the companies in New Jersey. Employees, they heard that about that, the department will finish their contract. So they actually have run away with, they have sold 16 laptops at that time, and the laptop at that time was really expensive. Okay, the device, how to protect the device from failing in terms of power. For example, we have what we call UPS, the uninterruptible power supply. And that's one, I believe it's a battery. In short, especially we use this one with the server, not with the normal computer. We use that with the server. When you have a server and running 24/7 and you don't want that, if the power went off, what the bank will stop. Imagine, like I'm talking about even the banks. If right now the power went off, do you want the bank system to stop? No. So what we do exactly, we put you a battery to run the server automatically right away as soon as the power becomes off. That's how it is? Yes. We have what we call fault tolerance servers. If you have any server, you have to have multi-copy of that server, and they have replication between. This is the one. If this one went down, the other one worked. If this one went down, the other one worked, like this way. That's what we call fault tolerance. And at the same time, we run on it what we call it load balancing, but that's away from your study right now. Fault tolerance, if I have multi-server or multi-device, they work as one. They support each other. The session will terminate in less than a minute. The disk mirroring, which we covered that before, which I believe that RAID, one of the best coverage for that. We did cover that before. The disk deblocking, that's redundant disk control, something like this as well, like the disk, that's exactly a copy. For